Okay, in the spirit of tune or die, first thing we're going to do is tune the guitar. Make sure we're all cool. That did sound a little bit off to me. That's much better. Not too much reverb there. Okay, so today we're going to talk really basic theory. And the idea here is to just give you an idea of the very basics of music theory around chords and chord construction, which also applies to the entire key. So we'll actually work backwards at a high level from the key, talking about what's minor within a key. When you're looking at building a chord in real music has at least 3 notes. The first, the third, and the fifth. Now, that would be something simple like this. A lot of times in rock and roll you get a power chord, which is the first and the fifth. So what do I mean by the first and the fifth? We're talking about the key of C. Obviously the first note is C. Second note is D, E, F, G, right? So if I'm doing a C power chord, I only have the first and the fifth. But when we're talking about constructing a song and putting together a chord progression, the second, the third, and the sixth of every key is minor, which means that the third note is flatted. All right, so an A minor, the key of C, a D minor, and an E minor. So we're just going to mess around with that a little bit and see how it sounds. Like it works. So when you're working with people who are viewing themselves as more talented as you, sometimes they'll try to throw words out there to just confuse or infuriate you. So a lot of times that happens with the modes, which we can talk about in further lessons. But the first mode is really the relative minor. So that's the sixth of every key. So the sixth chord in the key of C, if you just count out C, D, E, F, G, A minor, is the relative minor of C. So if somebody's like, hey man, we're going to jam in A minor. That's just the key of C. They're just trying to throw one over on you. So the rest of the relative minors, if you're playing in D, the relative minor is B. If you're playing in the key of E, the relative minor is C sharp. If you're playing in the key of F, the relative minor is D. If you're playing in G, the relative minor is E. If you're playing in the key of A, the relative minor is F sharp. If you're playing in the key of B, the relative minor is G sharp. So don't let people freak you out, because there's no reason to be freaked out, right? So as long as we stay with the chords of a key, it's going to sound good. So let's go with my other favorite key, which is the key of D. That has 1 sharp. The order of the sharps are as follows. For, by, every action does, good consequences follow. So when you're playing in a key and it has 2 sharps, the 2 sharps are going to be F and B, for, by. If you're playing in a key that has 3 sharps, it's going to be for, by, every. You get the idea. Now later, I'll have to consider whether I tell you the anagram to remember how many sharps per key, because that's got a couple of cuss words in there and I really can't think of replacements for them. So let's do something in the key of D. like it works, right? As long as you stay in the chords of the key, whatever chord progression you put together is going to sound good. It's going to sound basic. There's not going to be a lot of dissonance. There's not going to be a lot of surprise, but will sound melodic and workable. Similarly, if you know the notes of the neck, like I've been preaching, and you just shift them down, if I'm playing a chord progression in the key of D, and then I want to jam in the key of D, probably should have done that in overdrive, huh? You just slide everything down. Well, hope that was helpful. You can comment or even send a video response if you thought it was helpful or not helpful. Really interested in getting your feedback, and we'll see how things go from there. Thanks again.